Man, I trade Chet Hogan for two fat bitches and a bag of Jolly Ranchers. That sorry motherfucker.
Call of Duty Zombies is a game mode that has been with me for a good majority of my life, and if you're watching this video, I'm sure that the same is true for you. If you know me at all, or have seen some of my other videos, it's apparent that I have been very passionate about Call of Duty Zombies over the years. But recently, really in the last year or so, I had felt like I was losing that spark, as if I was falling out with Call of Duty Zombies. I think it really hit me hard during Black Ops 7 because while I would always take the small breaks from zombies in general, Black Ops 7 just kind of killed my spirit when it came to the future of the mode. Now, to some of you, I'm sure that same feeling had happened years before future titles, but I think it really hit for me harder than ever before this year. It's partly the reason I stopped uploading on this channel. Like, since the start of 2026, I've only uploaded one video, being my Elden Ring video, and considering I'm not a Souls guy, that's telling you something. And of course, pretty much every game after Black Ops 3 was somewhat of a disappointment for me, but I always was still hopeful for the next game. Once again, I have made many videos talking about Black Ops 6 and 7, supporting it fully while, of course, criticizing the parts I dislike. So trust me when I say I wanted this game and every other Zombies game that released prior to succeed beyond what I could even fathom. But the reality is that Call of Duty Zombies just isn't the same COD Zombies I remember anymore. I'm making this video not to diss the developers at Treyarch or to disregard how the fans of Modern Zombies feel about the game, because I've seen so many people who genuinely do love Modern Zombies for what it is, and I can agree that there is a lot of good that has came from these new games. Every map in Black Ops 7 other than Paradox Junction has looked refreshing and passionate from developers, and I would even say that these maps, at least the ones I've played, Ashes and Astrum, dwarf a lot of the old Call of Duty Zombies maps. Modern Zombies has also shown that it's not afraid to try new things, no matter how iconic they may be. One thing I really love in particular, even if it is a small change, is the perks redesign to be in cans instead of bottles. I really love the design of the cans, and especially the artwork and the level of detail put into the actual ingredients that some people have actually made and drank themselves.
Oh God.
Yeah, shout out Johnny J. He likes Rise, so, you know, of course he also would like hurting himself. And can we talk about the boss fights for Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7? They are all very memorable and have been some of the most difficult challenges to end a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. I mean, Ashes of the Damned boss fight was probably the most difficult fight we'd ever had, which is the reason the devs went back and forth on nerfing and buffing it, because some people just were unable to beat it. This is the first time in years I failed multiple times in the boss fight, and only after trying again and again, I was able to beat it, which made me feel like I accomplished something. However, while there are a lot of aspects of Modern Zombies that I really do enjoy, the one thing that is different and the one thing that separates it from the older games is gameplay. No matter how good your maps are or how good boss fights are, it cannot solve the issue of gameplay not being the same. We all fell in love originally with that classic gameplay system, and where everything first changed was in Black Ops 4. Whether you hate or love Black Ops 4, it's clear that this is a turning point for the direction of Call of Duty Zombies. Black Ops 4 is a weird middle ground because it's between old and modern Zombies, because while there are some great maps that may feel like they could fit in the older games, the gameplay just does not. But then again, it also doesn't feel like Modern Zombies gameplay either, but it's definitely a step closer. It's really the only game for me that isn't modern or old. It's the best way I can describe it is that it's just in the middle between modern and old Zombies, but it is responsible for a lot of the unfortunate changes that are widely disliked now. The perk system, the point system, the pack-a-punch system, the HUD, and specialists are just some of the changes made by Black Ops 4 that were either carried forward into the next games, or because they were changed in this game, were changed again, combining Black Ops 4's systems with a new vision of how these systems should work. The problem with how these systems work is they feel as if they were changed for the sake of change and not for actual improvement. I mean, something like the point system changing, which was done so that you wouldn't need to maximize points anymore and give more of a use to snipers and shotguns early game. But in reality, it makes guns like SMGs almost completely useless because they pretty much only served as point guns. Guns like the DSR were already useful in Zombies for the later rounds, so making it so they can get points on early rounds is just a lack of understanding of the fundamentals of what makes Call of Duty Zombies work. This is also very apparent in the Black Ops 4 perk system. Now, I understand Jason Blundell's vision of trying to change the perk system because the 4 core perks of Juggernog, Quick Revive, Double Tap, and Speed Cola are always usually the ones that people pick. And I do understand where he is coming from, but the reality is it was such an iconic part of the game mode. It's like taking away Batman's cowl. It's just not something you do. And even from a gameplay perspective, I don't want to have to choose the 4 perks. I have to use that game at the start of the match, because if I'd ever decide I want to change that in the middle of the match, you just can't do it anymore. Again, this isn't a video about Black Ops 4, because that could be a video in its own, but I really just want to show that it is to blame for the current state of zombies, because without these changes being made, there would never have been a reason to reinvent the wheel with things like rarities or spawning in with custom guns, which again was also started in Black Ops 4. Not the rarities, but yes, custom loadouts that technically started in Black Ops 4. Now, while I do think it did it a lot better, because there's very little amount of guns you can choose from, it still started it. And I think starting it was a big problem. And of course, Black Ops 4 isn't 100% to blame. Like, there's just new devs that are working on it. There was force from Activision to try to employ some things from other game modes. But Black Ops 4 is the root cause of why the game mode is in the state that it is today. As I've said before, I really have enjoyed parts of Modern Zombies. The game can be genuinely very enjoyable, but I don't think any of you would disagree with me when I say it feels like we're playing entirely different game mode, entirely different than what we remember. I could deal with the game mode taking a new direction with things, but it's an entirely different situation when all of the core features of Call of Duty Zombies are removed and replaced with something that feels so different from what it used to be. Things like the old point system, or starting with a pistol being taken away from us for years after asking over and over and over, only to be brought back in a side game mode, which you have to unlock by playing standard first, and then complete a bunch of different quests to revert some of the changes made that we don't want, just feels more of a chore, as if I'm going to do work to play the game that I actually want, even though I already spent $70 and I'm only interested in one of the modes and I'm going to spend 95% of my time playing. One thing I have to mention that the fans have been begging for, and it's such a small thing, you think it would be able to be implemented, is the HUD. The HUDs from old games, from World at War to Black Ops 3, were very simple, very limited. A lot of the times, even in Black Ops 1 and 2, after not trying to switch guns for a while or reload, your HUD would mostly disappear. It was very clean. Your screen didn't have a bunch of things on it. Black Ops 4, of course, changed this, and it was probably the most hated HUD of all time. Even in the newer games, like, we just don't get them. And even in Black Ops 7, when we were supposed to be getting, oh, look, we're gonna get these new HUDs and stuff, even then, the HUDs we are getting aren't the HUDs we want. It's just like, oh, what if we made like a HUD we can sell to you in a battle pass? And that's just ridiculous. Like, give us an actual good HUD. It's such a small thing, and I don't like to worry too much about the HUD, because if we're being real, while it is something I really would like to see, it doesn't affect the gameplay that much, so it doesn't matter that much. But it's just ridiculous to me that a change that small has been ignored for like, what, 8 years now? Like, I just don't understand. They had the chance to change it in Black Ops 4 after the bad reception, but they didn't. And you know what? Fine. It's already in the game. Maybe they just don't want to change it. I think that's still stupid, but whatever. Then they had Cold War, which, in all fairness, it's better than Black Ops 4's, but it's just still not the same. Like I said, not a huge deal necessarily, but if you've been playing this game for a long time, you know what it was like on Black Ops 2 when every map we were getting a custom HUD, like on Mob of the Dead or Origins or Buried. Very cool concept that just was removed entirely in Black Ops 3. But at least in Black Ops 3, its HUD was very simple and condensed, and it didn't have 1,000 things on the screen. The fact that the community has been screaming at Treyarch devs to go back to their roots, but we are just not heard, and instead of ignored and pushed to the side, instead the games have really just catered to that new audience, an MP Warzone audience, because they are more interested in bringing in new players who don't play the game than keeping the fans who supported them happy, is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's a huge slap in the face to anybody who really enjoys the older games. Call of Duty Zombies changed when it should have went back to the basics, and in turn caused one of the biggest selling points of their franchise to be neutered, and for that I really cannot stay by and support something that just feels disrespectful to me and everyone else with the same experiences. Modern Zombies has earned its title not due to salty OGs who don't want anything new or haters trying to drag down the mode. And while yes, I'm sure some do, these complaints come from passionate fans of the mode who just want the game to be better, because clearly Modern Zombies and Call of Duty Zombies are just not the same game mode anymore. They are very different, as different or maybe more different than Sledgehammer games made back then they were. The reality is the game is not made for us anymore, but I've realized that's okay. Yes, while this new Zombies to me is not as good as it used to be, I've learned that I have to let go of this want for things to be like what they used to be. Because the reality is they won't be. I'd say the zombies community has been vocal enough for too long for what we want for these games. And if Treyarch doesn't want to make the game how we want it, that is okay. It's clearly made for a different audience who do love the game for what it is. As I said before, I enjoy parts of the newer games, but I just don't think I will be continuing playing them because it just isn't made for me. It's made for the new fans, and it's made in a direction that developers feel is best for their game. And regardless of what my or anyone else's opinion on that is, we always have the option to stop supporting it. Because if the game mode is truly suffering from the lack of people playing, then they will try to change back. And if the mode is seeing great numbers from the fans of Modern Zombies, that's great too, because we had our run with the mode, and I'm appreciative for everything that I have gotten out of it for almost 2 decades now. Some of you may know that I'm a huge fan of basketball, and because of that, I was also a big 2K player, because I really like basketball, so of course I'd play the basketball game. Last year was the last time that I plan on buying a new 2K, because just like Call of Duty and so many other games like it, communities behind them are just not being listened to, and the only thing I can do is to choose not to support it. I've only played one match of Totenreich and the Tokyo map. I'm not even sure what it is, but I only played one of those maps. I only hopped on really because I had some friends that wanted to play them. I just don't see a point of forcing myself anymore to go into something I'm just not enjoying, and neither should you. I say this because when I was playing Black Ops 7 and focusing on the mode, after I took a break from zombies, every time I would think about Call of Duty Zombies, I would think how I really don't want to go play zombies right now, even when someone would ask me about the old game. It's as if the new games had soured my feelings towards even the old ones, because I would put them together as one in my head. And for all of 2026, I would ignore any zombies content I would see, and I would not play it at all, as I was so frustrated and honestly was just done with Call of Duty Zombies in general. I couldn't even start writing a video to talk about the game because I just felt nothing for it. And as I was really starting to believe I don't like Call of Duty Zombies anymore, something happened, something amazing. July 9th, 2026, Black Ops 1 and 2 ports were brought onto the PS4 and PS5 consoles as a shadow drop and broke the PlayStation Store when they did it. They were also probably the most played games during that month, which is a very insane thing to see. These ports, while to some are not too much of a big deal as they're just that, ports. Even to me, I didn't really care too much considering I already have both games with all its DLC on PC. So when I heard the leaks and confirmation that they were coming out at some point, once again, it just didn't matter too much to me. I mean, sure, it's cool that they finally made these games playable on PS4 and PS5. Only took as long as it did for GTA 6 to get an official release date, but still cool for console players who want to revisit those games, especially on the multiplayer side where everyone is fully reset and there are no hackers. Well, at first. So while cool, I didn't feel the need to buy them, especially since I thought for sure they would be overpriced and I didn't feel like dropping money on a game I already own again. But despite my plans, one of my friends, Morgan, who you may remember from the Zetsubo no Shima video, was talking to me about how he was going to get them. And I saw Black Ops 1 and 2 for $20 each and the season passes being $10 each. And I thought, you know what, $60 for both doesn't sound that bad. Now, I will say the full price of them, $40 each with like a $30 season pass, I think it is ridiculous. That is way too much money. And I would not buy them. I would not support that at all if that was the price I was paying for. But I only paid $60 for everything. And to me, that's not too bad. I mean, still could have been cheaper for sure, but not horrible. I thought, you know what? Why not let me just buy them and I'll play around on the multiplayer, because that was really what I bought these for originally. I wanted to play the multiplayer. Maybe I'd check out the zombies afterwards, but it was honestly mainly for multiplayer, which is weird because I'm not a multiplayer guy. And like this fat fuck from Ratatouille, I had a moment remembering what zombies was like after just a few matches of playing zombies, and I was having so much again playing zombies. I was rewatching old Zombies videos and going through all of the Zombies maps. I beat Origin's Easter egg day 1, went through all of the Easter eggs on Black Ops 2 and most of Black Ops 1's. Went for high rounds, and this Sunday literally spent all day on Zombies with Morgan doing a spawn room challenge on every single map just for the fun of it. And in that entire time, I wasn't bored. I just wanted more, because even though I may be done with Modern Zombies, as I don't see a future in it really, for me, I still love Call of Duty Zombies for what it is, for what it was, and what it is for me today. I think I may return to making some Call of Duty Zombies videos, but as you know, my channel has the consistency of James Harden in the playoffs, so who knows when the next yearly upload will be. What I do want to say is that I doubt I would be making any Modern Zombies videos, as I said, there's just no future for it, and unless we get the mode I've been wanting for so long, I won't be buying the new games. Instead, I'll probably stick to the older games and make videos on other things, Once again, if I'm not being a fat chud and actually can press the record button once in a while. This video for me really is only possible because I have been experiencing so many different games lately, really trying to expand my reach on other IPs that I either had been putting off or may never have touched, but I'm giving a chance to now, like Elden Ring, as I mentioned earlier. It is because I have been expanding my range of games that I realize just how cooked Modern Zombies is, and with a lot of great games I have played this year, I feel no reason to keep condemning myself to them. I've been even looking at indie games that are made to compete and or mirror Call of Duty Zombies, like Milo. No, not that Milo. Yeah, that one. Which I'm sure some of you have heard of, but I played the demo a little while back and it was fun. I am a big supporter of these indie guys who are trying to make their own version of something they love. It actually comes out October 29th of this year, so if you are interested in that, you can go check that out. On Steam, I'll leave a link in the description as well. I'm sure some of you have also heard of Magic Fractal, which is a studio ran by Jason Blundell, who works with JC Backfire and Rad Austin, and looks like they will be making a new Zombies-esque game. And while it may be a few years until we hear anything, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. As you know, the schedule is definitely something. But I actually do really appreciate you guys watching, especially after one video this year. If any of you are returning, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, that's about it. Miguel.